Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Down goes Madison Cawthorn. Down goes Madison. That's right. Madison Cawthorn has been defeated in a Republican primary. So gone. That's right. Shortly before midnight, the Associated Press had called the race between him and Senator Chuck Edwards. Now, Edwards garnered more than 33% of the vote. Cawthorn got under 32%. So he conceded the election just prior, because he saw the writing on the wall. He knew that the Republican establishment, they had the knives out for him, and there was no way. There was no way he was going to win, even with the last-minute Trump endorsement, which I thought was pretty interesting. So now, I'm going to give you some video here. He was being asked about that Republican establishment attack against him. Here's what he said.
You know what, I'll tell you, there's been a coordinated strike carried out by really kind of the old establishment wing of our party. And it's really something that I think it's a loser's mentality. They realize the direction the country's going in, the direction that the population's going in. And if they want to be able to pay off people from my past and try and bring up old fixtures or things that happened years and years ago, I feel free to let them do that. I think the American people will see through.
Oh, the American people will see right through that, except they didn't. At least not your voters. So look, when it comes down to it, though, the Republican establishment effectively obliterated Cawthorn. They used their power, and it is significant, to destroy him. And look, I think a lot of that is because he embarrassed the establishment by revealing cocaine and sex parties. We know it. It's got to be. I mean, they didn't start really going after him until that. So I absolutely believe it. It's the Republican Party, after all. Hypocrisy is kind of their thing. Now, look, there was also scandal after scandal that gets referenced. The alleged insider trading. They don't really care. Bringing guns to an airport. Again, they don't really care. Driving on a revoked license twice. They don't care. Come on, you can break the law as much as you want as a Republican. You just can't give away their secrets. So look, Madison, very, very bad boy. He's a very bad boy. But honestly, again, I don't think that any of those had anything to do with the Republican establishment using that drip, drip, drip campaign to crush him. No, I think this is very important to point out because not a lot of people are. The Republican establishment won because they did gay panic. Honestly, that's what happened. Again, you had that video that showed whatever was going on with his friend or cousin or aide or whatever, humping his face. Again, you saw it. I really don't want to recreate it in your brain. Okay. There's other video of him, of somebody grabbing his crotch. You had the pictures of Cawthorn wearing women's lingerie, and all that stuff, right? So now I don't really care about any of that stuff. That's a little weird. But again, I personally don't care. Now, the Republicans, however, they had that in their back pocket. And I think that's really interesting because before he caused trouble for the Republican establishment, you don't think they had that opposition research sitting in their back pocket waiting? Now, if they do that for Cawthorn, what kind of opposition research do you think that they have on other Republicans? I mean, I always do say they tend to vote in lockstep. Maybe that's why. What kind of dirt? What kind of dirt does the establishment have on other members of Congress? I think that's really an interesting question. And look, again, a lot of this is based on homophobia. That's what I get here. look, I believe that even if Cawthorn isn't gay, I don't know if he is or not, the perception of him being gay is unacceptable for a right-wing electorate. I think it was enough to turn him off to a good chunk of potential voters in his area. And again, this is not the first time a right-wing politician has been busted in a gay scandal and lost his job. Remember Larry Craig? Wide stance in the public bathroom. Again, I don't care. Do your thing, right? Do your thing. But like, for Republicans, no, they didn't like it. No, don't do your thing. Don't you dare do your thing. Representative Phil Hinkle, another Republican who, by the way, voted for a constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriage, got busted getting an 18-year-old man that he met on Craigslist into his hotel room. When the young man backed out, Hinkle tried to pay him off and then refused to admit that he was gay. Quote, "I don't know what was going through my mind. I don't know why I did what I did. It's probably had something to do, with wanting a little D. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Look, another person, North Carolina's Steve Wiles, literal drag queen. He, in fact, used to perform as Miss Mona Sinclair at a drag club in Winston-Salem. Also happened to be a promoter for the 2011 Miss Gay America pageant. Well, that sounds lovely. I don't see a problem with that. But again, in the Republican Party, they hate that. In fact, the same guy, by the way, campaigned to ban same-sex marriage in North Carolina. So that's not fine. What you see is a pattern in the Republican Party where you have outwardly anti-gay men end up getting a little D on the side. Just saying. Now, again, as progressives, we do not care. I do not care. This would not be a scandal on the left. Because we don't care. We support gay and trans people. We support drag queens. Do you boo have a fun time? I don't really care. But on the right, they're still using this because they say they claim to be more moral than everyone else. Laugh along with me, right? No, they still use this as a cudgel. And they use this, even the appearance of having a gay relationship, against Madison Cawthorn. And again, Madison Cawthorn, I'm not defending the guy. He's a horrible person. Again, hypocrisy is kind of baked into being a current Republican. So, but now, that said, anybody who thinks that the right wing is not going to clamp down on same-sex marriage or rights to same-sex marriage issue, painfully naive. Painfully naive. The Supreme Court right now is ready to gut 50 years of reproductive rights. Once they're done with that, you don't think they're going to go after Obergefell? Try to go after gay marriage? Of course they are. Of course they are. The right wing at its very core is deeply anti-gay. So you have to realize that while Madison Cawthorn losing is fantastic, again, I think it was a horrible person, not just part of the insurrection caucus, horrible things, says horrible things, does horrible things, would vote for horrible things. Him losing is a result of how hateful the right wing is. So his replacement, by the way, I don't think it's going to be any better on those issues. No, of course not. No, the only thing is his replacement is going to be a standard establishment Republican who will continue to vote in lockstep with the rest of the party. So if you think that you're going to get an improvement here by replacing Cawthorn, no, it's going to be the same. If not worse, we'll have to see. But, regardless of that, even though I had to bring it down a bit, let's bring it back up and just, thank goodness Madison's gone. I guess he can go, play with his
tallywhacker
by himself.